Have you ever met someone who just won't stop working? They skip lunch. They work through weekends. They're answering emails at midnight. You tell them to take a break and they say they will, but they never do. It looks like dedication, ambition, drive. But here's what most people don't see. People who never take breaks aren't just hardworking. They're running from something, and stopping means having to face it. They're afraid of what happens when they slow down. When you're constantly moving, constantly busy, constantly working, you don't have to think, you don't have to feel. But the moment you stop, everything you've been avoiding catches up. The loneliness, the anxiety, the questions about whether your life actually means anything. So they keep going, not because they love working, but because sitting still feels dangerous. Taking a break means being alone with their thoughts, and their thoughts are the last place they want to be. Their self-worth depends on productivity. For some people, rest feels like failure. They learned early that their value is measured by what they accomplish. Maybe their parents only praised them when they achieved something. Maybe love was conditional on success. So now, as adults, they believe they're only worthy when they're producing. Taking a break feels like being lazy, useless, worthless. They can't separate who they are from what they do. And if they're not doing something, they feel like they're nothing. They're trying to outrun their problems. Bills, relationship issues, health concerns, regrets. Whatever it is, they're burying it under work. Because as long as they're busy, they have an excuse to not deal with it. They'll fix their marriage later. They'll address their health later. They'll process their trauma later. But later never comes. Work becomes the perfect distraction. It's socially acceptable. People praise you for it. And in the meantime, the real problems grow bigger, waiting for the moment they finally have to stop. Stopping means confronting failure or disappointment. Some people won't take breaks because when they do, they have to face the gap between where they are and where they thought they'd be. They imagine their life differently. Better job, stronger relationships, more happiness. But taking a break forces them to acknowledge reality. So they stay busy, because motion creates the illusion of progress. Even if they're running in circles, at least they're moving. And movement feels better than admitting they're not where they wanted to be. They don't know who they are without work. Ask them about their hobbies and they'll go blank. Ask them what they do for fun and they'll say, I don't really have time. That's because work has become their entire identity. Without it, they don't know who they are. They don't have interests outside of productivity. They don't have a life outside of obligations. So taking a break feels like losing themselves. Work gives them purpose, structure, meaning. And without it, they feel empty. So they keep working, not because they have to, but because they don't know how else to exist. They're terrified of being seen as weak or lazy. In their mind, taking a break is admitting you can't handle it. It's showing weakness, and they can't afford to be weak. Maybe they grew up in environments where struggling was shameful. Maybe they're in competitive industries where showing exhaustion means getting left behind. So they push through. They ignore the burnout, the stress, the physical symptoms, because admitting they need rest feels like admitting defeat, and they'd rather collapse than be seen as someone who couldn't keep up. They're addicted to being needed. Some people never take breaks because if they stop, someone might realize they're not essential. Their job will keep running. Their team will figure it out. And that terrifies them, because being needed validates their existence. It makes them feel important, irreplaceable, valuable. So they make themselves indispensable. They take on extra work. They never delegate. They create a situation where everything depends on them. Not because they want the workload, but because they need the validation that comes with being the person everyone relies on. Here's the hard truth. Never taking breaks doesn't make you productive, it makes you fragile. You think you're building something strong, but you're actually running your body, your mind, and your relationships into the ground. And one day you won't get to choose when to stop. Your body will choose for you. Burnout, breakdown, health crisis. The break will come whether you're ready or not. So maybe the real question isn't, can I afford to take a break? Maybe it's, can I afford not to? If you want to understand why people do the things that slowly destroy them, subscribe now. Because on this channel, we're not just talking about behaviors. We're talking about survival patterns people mistake for strength.